what was that growth like? Now you're at 20,000, right? I don't want to get that wrong. Let's get
Correct.
the number. Because we have to give the girl credit. 21,000 followers. Girl, crushing it. That's Tamara Jacko, a local content creator who's about to break down what it actually looks like to grow a personal brand online. Welcome back to the Corporate Detox, the podcast where we talk about work, ambition, and life in and after corporate. Because mi gente, we needed this. It's me, Erilsa, longtime marketing expert and your favorite corporate escape artist. Tamara's been building a personal brand as your overdressed bestie for the last 5 years, posting outfits, beauty content, and everyday moments that slowly turned for her into a real audience online. Before that, she worked in these traditional marketing roles in real estate, including CBRE, a very different system from the one she's now navigating in real time. But what you don't really see from the outside is how uneven growth on social media actually is. And that's where this starts, with her trying to explain it out loud and immediately realizing it didn't build the way people assume it did. What was that shape like? Do you remember how long it took you to get to 5K? You just don't get to 21K out of nowhere.
No, you don't. And it took a lot of time. And even then, in between that, I will say during my journey, I would see people like literally getting to like 500K in like a month. It's really interesting how this game works. And like, it really is that it's just a game. You can't control a lot of aspects of this. And that's something that I had to really struggle with because I tend to like to be able to control things and like fix it. And this is one industry where you cannot do that. You can try your hardest and give it the old college try, but you don't have control over this beast of an algorithm. So the first 5K was amazing. I was so excited. That took probably at least 6 months to a year. I have to like really think about that, but I
Yeah.
know it was a good amount of time. It took a while. The first kind of 5K is hard, then 10K is hard, and then you feel like you made it. And then there's always like it's being pushed, right? The bucket's being pushed down the line and like, okay, what's the next 5K? What's the next 10K? What's the next goal?
Yeah.
So there's never a moment where you fully make it and you feel satisfied with it. It's just an never ending cycle. To get to 20K, I mean, I can honestly say you hit 10K, you might lose 200 followers,
Right.
gain 100 here, lose 500, say you tried something new or your whole style changed, you might lose a few thousand followers and then you might end up gaining 5,000 in the end if you stay consistent because you're finding your people. If you're molding this community where as we are molding a community, we also change. So like maybe I used to be like a neutrals girly and now I'm more colorful. It really just depends on what you're putting out there and what you're building. I've had a lot of months where I just consistently lost followers for no reason. It's very disrespectful, but that's just the game of social media. And I think that time between starting and finding what works is very long, but it's also tumultuous and it's something you can't control. And it's not like a straight line, right? Like it's up and down. Sometimes it's way up here, then I drop down here. So it's really not a straight line. It's sporadic and it doesn't make sense, but that's kind of how social media is. It's a lot of patience, really.
How much time were we talking about? Because I think sometimes people think, okay, I'm going to start my Instagram and hope that in 30 days, if they do it, it's gonna work.
Months to like years. In the beginning, it was very much trial and error. It took me a while to become comfortable in front of the camera, a good 3 to 6 months, whatever. And then I got into modeling on the side, so that really got me out of my shell to be in front of the camera and be comfortable. I think that's like an extra bonus, just having that experience because you have to fake it till you make it in that industry. So that's what I did. And that translated to being a content creator because now you're understanding that you're the brand. And if you're not confident, the people behind the camera or behind the phone, they're not going to believe in what you're doing either. So it's a lot of it is faking it till you make it. And I know that's cliche, but it is a thing too with being a content creator. It's not going to be perfect. It took a lot of like forcing myself to do this and like get after it, keep going, don't give up. And that again, the reinforcement from a community of other women who are doing it really encouraged me to keep going because the numbers weren't hitting at first. Every now and then you'll pop off like one reel, like go do really, really well, and then it goes flat. It's just the algorithm is ever changing. There's so much that you can't control, but that consistency is really what got me here. The consistency breeds confidence, right? And that confidence is something that you have to have. It's
Yeah.
ultimately it comes down to being confident in what you're doing because we have so many naysayers and opinions online who are going to make you feel some type of way. So, months to a year, if not 2 years, where I was like, okay, I actually love this and I'm comfortable now. I can finally be myself. It took a very long time, and I thought it was going to be quicker than what it was, but it's not. And so, for some people, it might be 3 months. For me, it wasn't. It took a lot of work to get to where I'm at now to be comfortable.
Were you posting daily? Because I think sometimes people give up, right? Maybe they'll post for 3 months daily and they're just like, well, I just tried for 3 months. It didn't work.
Every
Maybe.
single day. But the climate of social media back then, you were posting every day. If you didn't post every day, you were drowned, like you were getting left behind. I was posting every single day. It was exhausting, especially when you get like 2 views and you just spent 2 hours filming and then
Mhm.
editing, right? So it's a lot of sacrifice in the beginning because it takes a long time, I feel like, for that traction to build and the community to be built and the numbers to start showing as well and being reflected in that. So I feel like at least I want to say like 2 to 3 years, honestly, finding like what works with my audience, somehow figuring out how that fits into the algorithm, my cadence. It just took a lot of trial and error. And I think that's what took so long was trying so many different things and then being consistent at whatever that was that I was trying. So it's definitely not an easy career to just jump into. I mean, you have those people who pop off sometimes instantaneously, but those people are unicorns. It's not the norm. And also it's about the long game. Yeah, you might have a couple of videos where you go viral, but you have to make sure that virality is attracting the right people because that can fade away very quickly and you want to have a community of people who trust you, who would actually purchase from your links, who actually want to DM you and ask you questions. That takes years to build. Like it's not going to be a couple of viral videos, right? It takes a lot of time and effort to build that.
I'm thinking of these corporate people who are like, wait, you're telling me this becomes a job and I'm not getting paid for a little bit? When did you make your first dollar? How long was that? I love your face because you're like a long time.
A long time,
Yeah.
sweetie. Like
Yeah.
at least I feel like well, starting in 2020 for fun till
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
2023
right.
is when I started monetizing. At least, I mean, those 3 years, right, of doing
Right.
it.
I think that's what I want to paint the picture of.
Yeah,
Yes.
literally the first 3 years was like I'm literally investing my time and not seeing any kind of benefit. Thankfully, again, it was a passion of mine, so you did kind of
Right.
feel like you were getting something. But at the end of the day, cute clothes and comments are not going to pay your bills, right? So eventually, you're like, okay, this is cute, but it needs to make sense dollars wise, right? It took a few years to get there, and then once that first check hit, it's like, okay, if I can do this with this amount of effort,
Yeah.
how much can I get with 10xing that, right? And then now you're like, how can I scale this? So it becomes different levels to your effort and how you're making things work for you instead of working so hard and hustling, hustling, hustling like you do in the beginning. Because the beginning you're hustling, but you're also trying to
Yeah.
learn and not reinvent the wheel because people have done this before. I think focusing on the people who have done it and seeing what actually worked to catapult your career is helpful instead of just starting from the grassroots type of thing. We have the luxury of technology, AI, people to talk to about how to get to where you want to be faster than back in the day in 2020 when this was just all starting out. You know what I mean? So it's still going to be some time, but it's easier now, I think, to get
To
there than
profit.
it was back in the
But it's
day.
probably harder to make money. So it's kind of like a trade-off of that piece.
Yeah,
Maybe this is just me, but I realized I've been listening to this story as if content creation was Tamara's full-time job. Have you been thinking about it that way too? Because it's not. Most of what you've seen so far is happening inside the margins of a more structured life. A full time role in real estate where the day is already accounted for, already scheduled, already measured in deliverables, and deadlines that have nothing to do with social media. And once you sit down with that for a second, it changes how the whole thing feels. Because posting every day looks very different when it's happening after the actual full time job. Which brings us to the part of the story nobody really sees.
I remember when I hit my first like 1K. I thought I was that girl. I was like 1,000 followers. Like, what do you mean?
It is, you are that girl. 1,000 is a lot for a normal person. And
You know what? You're right.
yeah, it was. So that's crazy. So at that point, you were at 1,000 followers, and then I envision it, but tell me if I'm wrong. You didn't have this thought that you were going to blow up or something.
100%. Yeah.
Okay.
First of all, back in the day, I actually went to the office for work, which is crazy to think. every single day, dressed to the nines, 7:30 a.m. I would show up to the office. But I had my little selfie mirror, and I always took my outfits every single day at work. And it started off as on the stories like, hey, this is a corporate look that's also cute and chic. You could do the same thing. And then I ended up posting on my page. I was like, oh, people love these, so I kept that going. And then it would be okay if I'm going out with friends or to this event, I'm gonna make sure I get a picture so I can show everyone later. So it was just literally for fun. It was truly something that gave me joy. It became my digital outfit diary where I could just look back and see what I wore last week or this week and get inspiration from different looks for myself. But then it became other people's inspiration as well, which I think is a beautiful thing. It started from just being a hobby and just being my form of expression, my type of art. You know what I mean?
You said you're doing too much, and I didn't realize how much you're actually doing. You're doing real estate on top of all of this.
Yeah, it's funny because a lot of people when they meet me don't realize that I love a double life, and I call myself a double agent because I do have a whole corporate career outside of content creation. I have been a corporate girly for a while. I've dabbled into full-time content creator and I went back to corporate life. I just find that I don't know if it's my mentality, my work ethic, or personality, but I just love having the duality of it all. I enjoy the creative side of what I do as far as being a content creator, but I also work in commercial real estate. It's a passion and something that I love, and I've just learned that that's also okay. I think a couple of years ago it was trendy to quit all your jobs and be a content creator, be an influencer, and like go for it. And while I do applaud that and I think it's great, I think there are also people like me who are unicorns and like to do it all. And it's not necessarily a perfect balance, but it is great to tap into different sides of your brain and what you love on different days of the week because it truly is that. It's never just like perfectly like 9 to 5, then 5 to 10. It's just chaotic and all over the place, but it's very fulfilling. So I'm happy that that is my life.
I'm thinking you're working 9 to 5. What was your process like at the beginning for shooting content?
My measly little tripod in the back of the car. What I did was I would literally map out certain parts of the city that I want to go shoot at. And having a 9 to 5, that's something you have to really be intentional about because you don't have all day to go and shoot. There's only daylight certain times of the day, right? In office days, it would be like go to work 9 to 5, quickly change in the office and rush over to I used to do what is it, Liberty Station. There's those cute buildings. I would take my
Yeah.
tripod, set it up, find a cute little corner, feel very cringe about it, but still get the shot, go to the car, change, and go to a different corner. A lot of it was just batching, because I didn't have the luxury of spending 5 days a week going to shoot outfits and go to these coffee shops or whatever and get cute content. That was just not something I had the luxury of doing. I had to be very intentional about 1 to 2 days a week where I'm going out and batching at least 2 to 3 looks that I can stretch out for a week or so and feel confident in that and not be stressed out about not having content.
When do you have time to think of what you're going to shoot? Were you going back home and then sitting down for like a couple hours? Did it become your other job?
Yeah, it
Okay.
literally had to treat it like another business. If you go out and start any kind of business, right? Like you're sleeping, eating, and breathing that business when you're not doing your other things. I'm not gonna lie, I work remotely now, so I have the luxury of doing a lot of things during the day. But
Yeah.
before I had that luxury, it was nighttime was when I was strategizing and figuring out what's happening the next day. And a lot of weekends, which is not great because I love my weekends. I used to want to only just see family and friends, but that was not something I could do. So I had to balance or figure out how to balance getting all that stuff done on the weekends and at night. So it's like your second job. You really have to push and strategize and be intentional because you can't really wing it in this industry. If you're not consistent and if you don't find something that works for your schedule, it's really hard to wing it and try to live a double life. Everything is very intentional. And you'll find your groove, but in the beginning it's a little stressful. Like how do I even have time to shoot? And how do I have time to focus on relationships and go to events and be present? And yeah, it's never
Yeah.
perfect.
You said that there are people who go full in on being an influencer. And now people are doubting, can that actually be? What are your thoughts on that?
I have friends on both sides of the
Yeah.
table with that, and I'm all about do what truly serves you and not to sound cliche, but what actually feels right for you. For me, I tried it and I was like, this doesn't feel right. I cannot eat, sleep, and breathe content creation. I will actually go crazy because as much as I love being on my phone and technology and going out and doing shoots, I find myself, if I'm doing too much of that, I lose sight of the other parts of my life that I love. So I found that having the duality and different streams of income, if we've learned nothing else from COVID, is like you need to have the bag secured in multiple areas, not just for financial reasons, but also sanity and mental health. It's good to have different things that you're doing and it keeps you grounded, I feel. At the same time, I have very close friends who are full-time creators, absolutely love it, cannot imagine working for anyone else or having other things going on. And it works for them, it serves them. In my world, I can imagine doing just content creation, but I do know that there are people who also see the other side of that and they're like, I can never imagine working as a corporate person or like having another business. It's just, personalities are different. And I think, overarching, I think everyone, not everyone, but the culture is moving away from having to do one thing and niche down and do only content creation. I think it's trendy to like do a couple things and be creative or go and try something new and have, multiple things going on, I think is kind of where we're at in this society. It's hard out here.
It's
And
hard out here. Oh,
yeah,
yes.
people are trying to survive, and I think they realize that you can't just always do one thing to make it and then ultimately feel fulfilled. So yeah, I think doing more than one thing is great, but I'm a little biased because that's what I do. So it's
Yeah. What was your normal Instagram like before even this started and you had that moment?
in the beginning, it was really all for fun. It was just a hobby. I was always a girl that was kind of overdressed and like I loved my outfit. So I started taking pictures of it and then people would ask questions about it. And so I would just go out and take pictures of my outfit while I was at the event and just have those pictures and post them later. It wasn't like I was going with the intention of posting these later, but when Instagram kind of became a thing and it was like normal to post your outfit, I was like, oh, cool, this is a creative outlet for me. So it was a no pressure type of situation where I was just posting my cute little outfits. And then eventually people started engaging with it and like, hey, I actually love this. This is so cute. I love how you put this together. It became a thing of building a brand around being the overdressed bestie, becoming this thing of unapologetically extra, but also if you're not extra, that's okay too. I've always wanted to be like that person or that girl who could show people that it's okay to be exactly what you are. You're not too much. You're enough, right? You can be overdressed today if you want to. Tomorrow you can be in sweats. Whatever is your thing, be it and be it unapologetically. And I think especially in SoCal, San Diego, it's a chill environment. No one's really dressed up like that. I've been told that I belong in the East Coast or London or something. And I think my heart is so involved in fashion in that way where I'm like, yeah, but I love being by the beach. So I'm the girl in the boots at the beach, right? I'm still going to embrace my personality, but I also love where I live. I understand that
Right.
when I go places, people are like, where are you going? Why are you dressed up? Everyone's in flip flops and yoga shorts. Like, you're doing too much. And that was kind of the vibe I used to get. You're doing a lot. Like, why are you trying so hard? Why are you doing this? And I'm like, for me to not dress this way would be me trying to not be myself. You know what I mean? So I had to learn that it's okay to be extra. And I also want to encourage other people to do that because you get a lot of judgment. And I think either way, people are going to judge you. So why not just be your unapologetically extra self? And then there are days when I'm, of course, looking homeless, and I love that too. But again, it's the duality of it all. It's okay to be both and do both. And different days of the week will look different. So that's kind of where I evolved my brand to be, is the person who, if I show up, I'm going to show up and I'm going to be me. And it's okay if you don't like it, but it's me.
You talked about how you started with doing just, outfit fits on reels. You said it was cringe. Why was it cringe, your first one? Do you remember it?
I think I do. It was weird because when you're starting something, it's going to be horrible. First of
Yeah,
all,
for sure. Yeah.
accept it. Everyone listening, we're all going to suck at something in the beginning. But for me, it was cringe. I'm standing in front of a camera on a tripod in my living room, trying to set up a light so it doesn't look crazy. And I'm just like, what do I even do? What do I do in front of this camera right now to show you my outfit, but also make it engaging? It was my own type of internal thoughts of, this is so weird. What do I even do? People aren't going to like this. Who do I think I am type of thing. In the beginning, it's just weird. And that's okay. It's going to be weird because you're new. It's like a new job or riding a bike. It's like, what am I doing here? Also, you're looking at so many different videos a day, constantly scrolling and seeing other people doing things. And it's like, I don't want to copy them, but then how do I be myself, but also stay relevant and do trendy audios and all that good stuff. So there's a fine line and a dance. You have to figure out what actually is you. And from there, I think the cringiness fades away because you're like, well, it's just me. I'm not trying to be someone else. That's when it becomes really cringe for yourself because you feel weird. Like, I am not this person. Why am I trying to be her? Just finding your own branding and your own style, even with outfit reels, was something I had to learn. And it took time.
It wasn't like a forced thing. The people who were saying they liked it at that point, was it your friends or were people finding you? Were hashtags even a thing then?
Yeah, in the beginning, it was my faithful few friends, childhood friends, and people who really believed in me. A few aunties out there who were always commenting on my stuff. They kind of just helped me gain confidence posting myself because it was weird at first. And I was like, I don't want to be cringe, right? That's kind of what everyone's thinking in the beginning. Like, I don't want people to think I'm trying to be anything I'm not. So it was a few friends and aunties and uncles and my parents, like, oh, you got this. And then it's an interesting transition. So once you kind of make it and establish your brand, I feel that the childhood people and the ones you kind of grew up with and are always in your corner from day one kind of fade to the background. They're like, okay, we got you here. Like, you got it. You did great, sweetie. And now it's like, now these internet randos are becoming my besties, like internet besties. And like, you can't tell me otherwise. We are best friends. So it evolved into me growing relationships with complete strangers on the internet. And I know there's that saying of your Instagram's not for your friends and family, it's for your audience, your new people, your community that you're building. And I did have to learn that quickly and kind of the hard way. It's, you know, not everyone's meant to go with you in every stage of life, right? So there was
Yeah.
a transition where it became a bunch of random people that at first was scary, sharing my life with these people. And then you build that community and it's like, oh, these are my people as well. And now I'm so close to so many people that I met on Instagram, which is crazy. People I haven't met, I'm like, I still feel connected to you because of the community that's being built. It's really a beautiful thing. But I did have my faithful few in the beginning who really helped me kick things off and just feel comfortable. My little cheerleaders in the background. So,
Yeah, yeah.
yeah.
They love it. The people that love you that are just like anything you do, you get it, sweetie. Like you
Yeah.
got this, honey. You talked about that there's a point when it switched and it became a personal brand. Were these fans that are here now, did they come first and then you were like, let me build a personal brand? When did it become that from childhood friends that you were all of a sudden noticing, hey, there's people I don't know commenting on my post? How did that happen?
I know a few years ago, Instagram became focused on reels more. That's when I was kind of apprehensive. It went from like photos and posting cute pictures all the time to now you're showing up on video. And at first I was like, I don't know about this. So I did my first and I did a few more and the traction started building and people would actually DM me now versus just leaving comments. And I think the shift happened from people actually reaching out now to get links versus just saying, oh my God, you're so cute. Love this look. When that started generating of like, I actually want to like purchase this and I want to style this myself is kind of when it clicked for me that, oh, I'm actually inspiring people to style themselves and go out and try different looks and not just be like my fans online scrolling, but they're actually engaging and wanting to make this a full circle thing. It naturally progressed where I was like, oh, I'm inspiring people? Like, what? And then I started taking it seriously because I'm like, now I feel like I'm doing a service to my audience. It's serving us all like mutually, but now I'm showing up with an intention to provide more than just a pretty picture. Now I'm like, if you can see yourself in me and how I'm styling myself and how I'm carrying myself throughout the world, then that's a win-win. And I feel very honored to be that person for you. That's when I started seeing myself as like, okay, I need to take this seriously because apparently they're taking it serious. From there, it's building that creator community as well. I have friends who are influencers and I get to learn from these people who are doing all these amazing things and hearing their stories and the streams of income that they're bringing in and how they're building their communities and feeling so connected to these people. I'm like, oh, this can really be a thing. This is actually a whole career that can truly catapult your life. That's when it all kind of clicked for me. I was like, there's this whole big world out there that you don't know exists. And then once you know, it's all uphill from there, right? Hopefully.
You see this opportunity and then you start becoming friends with the creator community and learning before even monetizing it. Was that because naturally you were surrounded by friends who did content creation, or was it something that you were just like, oh, this is fun, let me learn from others?
Yeah, it's the latter, I think. It was being around finding people that are in places you want to be. You feed off of that. I had the purest of intentions where I was like, okay, this is fun. Let's go find girls to go shoot content with.
Yes.
And then I learned that they're making bank. They're like, have this whole epicenter flowing of business and community, and I didn't know anything. I knew nothing, but I was just having fun. And then I got around people who did know everything, or at least a lot of things, and they were where I wanted to be, but also didn't even know that was possible. I think I came from it with as a hobby, and then it became like, okay, this can be a business because I learned from other people that it could be. Now I'm like trying to be that person where I'm like, hey, this is what you need, XYZ. Let's go get coffee. I do this all the time where I'm talking to girls who have DM'd me and they're like, hey, I would love to shoot. I'm kind of scared. I haven't started this. Any tips? I'm like, I'm an open book because first of all, there's enough for all of us to eat. There's enough success out there for all of us. The mentality of I have to hoard all these secrets and gatekeep has just never been me. I think it's just because that's how I learned and got here, and I
Yeah.
want to be able to give back and show that as well. It 100% had to do with my environment, naturally just pouring into me and sharing things that I had no idea even existed. There's still so much I don't know. It's like constantly evolving, you know?
Evolving, probably an understatement, Tamara. Coming from someone also living it. Consistency doesn't produce a straight line. Time doesn't sit in one place. And even when growth shows up, it doesn't feel cleanly earned or easy to map back to effort. I saw something the other day, like 60% of professionals now say having a personal brand matters more than it did 5 years ago, which is kind of wild when you think about how most of it is actually happening. Because once you've seen that pattern enough times, it stops being about how you do it. It becomes something else entirely. What the F is actually driving this? I just think it's so interesting because somebody wants to write a book and, maybe surround yourself with authors, but they wouldn't know where do I start? How did you find these people that eventually gave you all those tips?
Events, events, events. And I can't
Okay.
stress it enough. That was literally where this all started. I think it was, I feel like Swirl Boutique. I don't know if you've heard of them. Our clothing brand that they have multiple locations now. The owner, Lisa, is amazing. We've become friends, but she's the first person's event in San Diego that I went to that I met so many people and started growing friends that were creators and were interested in fashion and lifestyle. That kind of catapulted to like going to all these different brand events. Naturally, you make connections, you get people's Instagrams, you follow up in DMs. I think it's really similar to my career as a corporate girly. I think that really helped me in networking so easily in the content space because I'm naturally doing that for my job and just, throughout college. That's how I got basically all the opportunities I've been given in my career outside of being a content creator, knowing people, asking them to go to have coffee for 15 minutes, picking their brains. I feel like that is the biggest thing you can do for free. Well, coffee's $5 or $10 now, but
Yeah.
going and like just talking to people, meeting them in person is kind of a lost art because I think we've become so dependent on DMs and texting people and being behind the screen. But if you can just go out and make that connection, it's a lot. In the beginning, I was going to multiple, like probably 4 events a week. I was exhausted on top of the 9 to 5, but the payoff was real because I built a community, and you can't really do that all the time over DMs and like just commenting other people's posts. Going out and touching grass, but also like being in these people's presence, it really does open up a new avenue for you to build a community. And that's where you learn the most. Even if as a content creator, you're still going to learn more by going out and meeting people than you will sometimes behind your screen or scrolling and trying to do research. So I really encourage people to get out there and go to events. Even if you aren't, thankfully invited to events early
That's what I
on.
was going to ask you. Like, how did
Yeah.
you, yeah.
So yeah, people would invite me, brands would reach out, and then from there you can have plus ones and you can invite friends. But now, thankfully, there are things like Eventbrite, and there are these different platforms that you can actually search for different brand activations because when there's a brand activation, there's going to be content creators, there's going to be influencers, and there's going to be brands there, right? So even if you're not getting invited, I would say search these websites and find a way to get yourself in these rooms. Sometimes it's easier than you think. Even if it's a cute little pop-up at the mall for free, like you're going to find some people there who do content. From there, it's just being proactive, getting out of your shell and just introducing yourself. It feels weird at first, but everyone's nervous. I've learned that at these events, everyone is scared. Everyone's thinking the same thing. Oh, is my outfit good enough? Do I have enough followers? I don't have enough friends with me. I came alone. Am I a loser? Literally, everyone has those thoughts in their head as they're going to these events. And when you just let that go and realize that we're all kind of nervous, like it's okay. We're just people, right? At the end of the day, we're all just humans trying to connect and find our people. It takes practice. In the beginning, I was very nervous to meet people. And now I love events to this day. It's my favorite part of what I do. It takes a lot of effort, but it's worth it.
I am by no means a content creator, but do it to showcase my consulting business and this podcast. And
Hmm.
I remember I was just trying to show like what it was for a day in the life to work for me. And I was at Hinar. Everyone should go there in San Diego. It has the best Sebastian cheesecake. Because I was taking them that I was holding up the entire line. That was a moment in the time where I was like, I'm not living this coffee shop that I love. I'm just
Mm.
here shooting, and I'm also interrupting other people and the way they want to enjoy Hanar. I don't know if you had that moment at all when you were shooting content where you're just like, okay, wait, what's happening here?
Yeah, I think first of all, being on this side of as a content creator, you have to get very tough skin in the beginning. I literally would take you back to 2020 when COVID was happening. I would bring my little raggedy tripod out with me, have outfits in the back seat, changing, going out, shooting by myself literally with the tripod. And the looks I would get, the judgment was just astronomical. Fast forward to 2026, people are used to it and you're still going to get those looks, but it's like, okay, whatever, you're not paying my bills. I had to really quickly learn that if I want to take this seriously as a business, I'm going to have to get stares and I'm going to have to be okay with it. To your point though, it's a fine line where it's like, well, are you enjoying the coffee though? Like, you got the
Yeah.
content, now sit down and chill, right? That's what I do now. Every time I go and I know the purpose is to get content. First, one thing I do is I actually talk to the business owner or the person at the front because I've learned that they really respect that and they actually encourage content as long as they understand what you're doing, right? For example, Hanar, I've built a great relationship with them and they know when they see me, I'm going to get content. But I've learned to finesse it where I'm like, okay, it's just going to be a couple of minutes where I'm getting these snaps. I tend to like wait and let people go in front of me. I don't want to be that girl. There's a way to do it gracefully where you're like, okay, you're not the annoying influencer that's in the way, but also you need to get the content and the business actually appreciates the content. So how can I
Right.
balance both of those worlds? And so I've learned to finesse it and like talk to the person at the counter, let people go in front of you, take your time, don't rush it, and then get your content when you feel ready and comfortable. Even doing all the things right, you still will get looks and judgment, but at least I know that for me, the priority is that business owner and making sure they understand my intentions are to promote you, lift you up, bring awareness to your page, which is ultimately why I started doing this all in the first place. So I think it's just communication is the biggest thing, and also being intentional and being aware of your surroundings because influencers can be annoying, and I can say that because I get it. Even when I go places and I see people, and I'm just like, oh, like be more graceful and tactical because you're the reason why people think we're all crazy, right? There's just a way to do it where you're being respectful of other people in the business. It's a dance. And I have had so many days where I'm like, this is awkward. I don't want to shoot anymore. And sometimes that happens and I'm just not going to shoot today. I'm not feeling it. You really have to go with, go with the moment, read the room and see how you're feeling because it's not always a perfect opportunity to get cute content. Sometimes it's just not a good day or the vibes are off, or if it's a new business and you've never met the people and they're looking at you sideways like, can you not do that here? Then you kind of know that, okay, this is not that type of establishment where they want people on their phones and in the way. So yeah, I found my spots in San Diego through from here to LA. I found my good spots that I love and that I've built a connection with those people that they're understanding. But
Yeah.
it's not always perfect.
It's not, I mean, it has been uphill from there. That's so funny that you let it naturally evolve to all of a sudden you're just like, hey, I'm providing something that people value. For you, was there like an outfit that you were like, maybe I should be getting affiliate commission on this? I don't know. I'm just so curious, like how it turned for you.
Yeah, I was a little naive in the beginning for a while. I was just sharing links for fun. And
Yeah.
then I was like, again, your environment really does shape you. I was around other creators who were like experts, and they're like, "You're not on LTK. What are you doing? You're not legit until you're on LTK, right?" And it's just they were saying like, "You need to be getting paid. This is something that you have to take seriously, and this is
Yeah.
a platform in which you can do it." Once I started looking into it, built my account, started posting my links there, it just became easier. And I was like, this is what I should have been doing all along. It's a one-stop shop where everything can be housed. It looks nice, it's user friendly, and then also the audience can just go whenever they want to. That moment kind of is when I became aware that this is a thing. From there's all kinds of different platforms that have evolved since then. But having those resources really changes the game and allows you to step into it as a business person as opposed to just doing it for fun or winging it. It kind of, the dots kind of connected from there. And then I got introduced to different brands, built relationships. It just became kind of like this whole cycle.
We're clearly going to need a part two for because there's like so many other questions that I have. I wanted to end on some fun questions if you could have me for it because I think there are a lot of myths about personal branding. Tell me yes, no, not really on a few things. Bust some of them.
Okay.
The first one's going to be you need to post every day.
No, not really.
Okay.
I would
Okay, wait,
say,
tell me more.
I think, well, straight answer is no. It's about quality over quantity now in this market and this climate of social media. Um, and it also depends on the program you're using or the actual platform. Instagram, I think it's quality over quantity. TikTok, not my thing, not my specialty, but I think there is where you can really push out multiple videos a day and like try to get that engine rolling for you. But if you're focused on Instagram first, quality over quantity 100%. It's better to post two amazing pieces of content a week versus every single day you're like forcing it and just kind of throwing things and seeing if they stick on the wall.
Yeah.
So I
Yeah.
think quality over quantity 100%.
Can cause so much burnout to have to be doing it every day. I bet it maybe has something to do with your audience. And so that's another thing I wanted to talk about. You need to know your niche before you grow.
No, absolutely
Okay.
not. Nobody knows until they know, right? You have to see what works for you and your audience. Um, so yeah, no, you don't need to know.
And that's probably what you said, how you were testing a lot of things. You kind of have to test a lot of different bits to figure out where it meets what people respond to you about, right? The next one is you have to go viral early or your account won't grow.
No, and honestly, I think going viral can actually cripple you. I have had my moments in the beginning where I did go viral and I was like, oh, I made it. And then you look at your analytics and you're attracting people in countries you aren't trying to target. Or like you get, for example, in my niche, having a bigger amount of women followers is my goal. Like I'm here for the girls. So if I'm now all of a sudden getting 2,000 random men, that is not going to help me out. First of all, the brands that I'm working with don't want to see that. I don't want to see them in my comments or DMs being creepy. It's really like you can go viral and pop off and attract things that aren't really meant for you. And then you can also go viral and attract a great amount of people, but then you think that you've kind of made it, so you plateau and the effort's not necessarily the same. Or you keep trying to do that thing that got you viral and doesn't work, and then you get discouraged. So it can be a double-edged sword. Sometimes it's always great to attract new people, right? But it's not always the best thing for your brand and for you, especially starting out, because I've seen it backfire too. So I think consistency over virality is important.
Yeah, and it might give you the wrong signals. Like, again, to your point, it's not your audience, and now you're doing a lot of the wrong thing. What maybe a little bit related, but if a post doesn't do well, it means you shouldn't do it again.
Ooh, that's like a yes and no. It's
Yeah.
a fine line between listening to your audience. I've learned one thing, especially as a marketer, as a, my corporate job, your audience will tell you what they want to see. At the same time, I can post a outfit reel, a certain type of reel one week. It does great. The next week, same type of video, it flops. And that's an algorithm thing. That's not necessarily the audience saying it sucks. They probably just didn't even see it, which happens more times than not. So yeah, it's great to listen to your audience, and sometimes it's a matter of knowing that your algorithm is just not doing what it's supposed to do that week. and you can't control that. So I think the bigger answer is no, it doesn't matter that your post performs well. You want it to, but if you know that it's consistently something that your audience likes and they gravitate towards, keep going and keep trying it. And I think ultimately it will stick, but in the beginning, or maybe it flops different weeks or different months, you know what I mean? So again, my answer is consistency over virality. Yeah, you get 20 likes, but you keep going because that's what your audience likes, that's what you like, it just works well. Keep trying it. And then of course try new things as well, but don't give up on that one style of content just because you tried it twice and it sucked. You know what I mean? You got to keep on trial and error, if that makes sense.
Again, it's patience. A lot of patience is what I'm hearing. Another one is, do you need to engage with your community DM comments 30 minutes before your post and after?
This is something that I had a hard time believing at first. Is I'm like, does it really make that big of a difference? And I can honestly say, yeah, but not in a fake way. There's you can tell when there's people who only go and engage just because they're about to post in 5 minutes versus someone who's consistently showing up for the people they follow, for the people that follow them, for their DMs. Like you just have to be consistent and show up because I think people feel that energy. They can tell when you're just trying to engage because you want them to like see your stuff too versus genuinely showing up for people and engaging, answering the DMs, replying back to comments. It's not always easy and I miss it a lot of weeks, right? But just trying your best to show up and circle back and say, hey, I'm so sorry I missed this message, whatever. People get it. Like, social media, we all have lives. You can't always be on it, but I think just having good intentions and being present and showing up when you can is really important, especially those days when you are posting. But I also try to engage on the days I'm not posting because I don't want it to be like, oh, I just want
Yes.
you to think about me because I'm here today, but tomorrow I'm out of here. I have fallen into that trap where I'm posting and ghosting. I'm posting and I'm like, bye, see you tomorrow. It tends to be a thing with me that I have to work on every single day because I'm like, again, having a double life. I have so much other things going on. I can't just be on Instagram
Yeah.
commenting. But I think being consistent with it does pay off. You're going to grow your own audience, your own community, and it just makes people feel good. And that's ultimately your goal, right? You want people to feel good when they are in your presence or under your comments or in your DMs because that pays off in the long run and it is about the long game. That consistently in posting, your consistency in engaging and commenting back to people, DMing them, sending them the links when they want it. I tend to be late on that too, but I'm always going to follow up and give you a link, right? It's
Yeah.
just I think people know your heart and they can tell when you're genuine about it. So I think engagement is 100% important, but it's not always perfect, but you definitely need to engage and support other people. And, you get what you give, right? You're sowing those seeds and you're hoping to reap those benefits as well. So it definitely is really important.
As we wrap up, I want to end on an emotional note about just the persona you build along the way and what it feels like on a day to day. Because even for me, people know me as this positive, charismatic person. And so you often feel like you have to meet that when you're out and about, and meet that expectation of people. For people, you're overdressed. What does it feel like when they run into you looking like a bum? Has that happened? It's just like,
Yes.
yes, yes.
There's always the one day of the week where I'm okay, let me just go to Vaughn's real quick. No one's gonna be there. And then you do see two people you know from childhood or like, oh my God, like an Instagram girly that you always DM. They're like, "Are you okay? Like, you're not overdressed Bessie today. Like, it's okay."
Yeah,
It's
yes.
I used to be kind of scared about that too. Of like, oh my God, I built a brand. Like, I have to be this girl all the time. I think a part of my brand, like I said in the beginning, was the duality of it all. I'm not always perfect. I literally got dolled up. You put on makeup. You go through this effort to. It's fun for me. It's fun to do makeup. It's fun to do hair. But I'm not always looking like this, and I don't ever want people to think that either. You have those humbling experiences where you're not looking cute, but I'm still that girl, and it's okay to be both and not be perfect all the time. It did take me a while to get comfortable with that of like, okay, well, it's just an off day, but that's okay. Because again, we're all humans and it is social media at the end of the day. I always come back to that. It's literally just social media. It's going to be okay. And I always tell myself this every single day, like it's okay. You know what I mean? There's a lot of those days. I'm not gonna lie.
I think you said something really important is that It's got to be authentically you overall. You can't be overdressed every day. I can't be positive every day or
Mm-mm.
charismatic every day. But it's generally you. The trap that people can fall into, and maybe you agree, is that if you build this thing that's not you, then it is going to burn you out.
Yeah, 100%. I think social media, we're always scrolling, we're always getting inspired by
Yeah.
other people, and it's easy to want to emulate other things we see and copy and paste, but ultimately you can try it and it might pop off a little bit, but that's not sustainable and you will fall on your face eventually because it's
Yeah.
exhausting. Like you said, trying to fake the funk and be this person that you're not, it's not going to last. And I think people end up snuffing that out eventually too. Like you can pick up on that kind of energy. Are you actually this person in real life? You know what I mean? Like, you have to truly stay authentic and not get lost in the sauce because it's very easy to do in this world, especially social media. Like you can be an entirely different persona online than you are in real life. And that can, I mean, I can't do that, but I literally know people who are two different personas online and offline.
Wow.
And
Yeah.
it's like, it's exhausting. It's hard to keep up. It's like you're an actor, you know, you're trying to keep up with this role in real life.
Yeah.
It's not sustainable and it will become your downfall. So ultimately, you got to stick with what works for you and what feels good at your core, right?
You said at one point that you had a realization that you couldn't live and breathe content. Do you remember that moment? Where were you? What were you thinking? Who did you talk to?
So this was a couple of years ago when I took a break from corporate. Well, actually, almost 3 years now. And I was like, I don't know about this. I would wake up and it's like, okay, your post is going live at 8. And the night before that, mind you, you're getting the post ready, you're scheduling it, or you're just having it ready to hit send. It's a lot of preparation in the back end. So before bed, it was like, okay, I'm on my phone, I'm editing, which again, I love editing. I love all the parts of being a content creator. But when you do it full time, it does become your life. For example, if I go out to a coffee shop, everyone knows I love coffee. It's my thing. But I cannot go to a coffee shop without snapping pictures of my coffee at least. Like, at least get the cup, at least show the latte art. But there are times also in life where I would go from coffee to like lunch or a meeting and constantly feel like I need to be recording this. I need to take a picture of this. I need to show that I went here. Otherwise, it didn't happen. And otherwise, I have no content. So you're in this cycle of everything is content. Every moment is content. There would be days when it's like I had an event and then I went to go to lunch and then I did some work on my laptop and then I went to see family. And you can't really be present at everything if it's all about what I'm capturing in the moment. You know what I mean? I didn't like the person I turned into when I was a full time creator just because I found myself exhausted. I didn't show up for my people in the way that I wanted to. And yeah, I don't know. I wasn't able to find that perfect dance of that all. I think my personality, like I just think turning 30, right? It changes your life. I don't really want to be on my phone all the time. I want to enjoy the people in my life. Life is short, right? So I matured a little bit and I realized that if I do this career full time, I don't know if I'm going to be able to keep sight of the bigger picture because it does
Yeah.
suck you in. It's a lot. You're posting stories, you're posting your content, you're engaging with people, you're going to events, you're recapping those events, you're editing before you go to bed, you wake up and do it all over again. It's exciting, but it's a lot and it can take over your life in a great way, but also, again, it's easy to get lost in the sauce. That happened to me.
As you said, you're here for the girls. Knowing what you know today, what would you tell day one you to do differently?
There's a lot of things I would tell myself, but
Yeah.
or anyone that I talk to, I tell them the easiest answer is to focus on what drives you and makes you happy. Just starting there and having fun with it because that's going to really give you that momentum to keep going and try new things. Ultimately, I started off by doing this as a hobby, and I think that passion kind of gave me the drive to keep going. Just start with what makes you happy and drives you, and then try new methods and see what comes naturally to you, but also what sticks with your audience, right? It's not just about me, me, me. What do other people want to see as well, right? What are they engaging in with the most? What are they asking questions about the most? And what makes you feel the most connected to them? If it's 2 words, have fun. Beyond that, have fun and try new things. You literally have nothing to lose in the beginning because one, no one's watching you yet. I think in the beginning, I took a long time to start because I was in my head about it not being perfect. And I have to say, everyone is cringe at the beginning. Everyone looks goofy in the beginning. It's just inevitable, but you have to just start and have fun and see what you love and see if you even like it, because a lot of people want to get into the industry. They think they want to, but they've never even posted or gotten into a consistent posting schedule. And you might not even like it. Try it. You know what I mean? Try it first before you do all the strategies and opting into these groups and paying money to learn about things. Just try it first for free. It's literally for free. Just trying it, seeing if it's something that you can see yourself doing before you invest more effort and time into it. So, yeah.
I love it. Trying is free. That is like right there. Put it on my bumper sticker. The funny thing is, after an hour of talking about algorithms, growth, monetization, audiences, and strategy, we somehow ended up right back where we started. Just post the damn thing. Till next time. Do you think influencer only culture is dead?
This is a hot take. I don't,
Yeah.
I don't want to ruffle some feathers.